we'll talk about Gobert and the three players that were the Wolves traded to the Jazz were very fantasy relevant last season. Vanderbilt, Pat Bev, and to some extent Malik Beasley in some parts of the season. But let's talk about Gobert first. Do you like this trade? I mean, for Gobert's fantasy value, Gobert's fantasy value in the regular season is very stable. I think the only problem with Gobert is the playoffs.
I will not say that it would hurt him that much. I know he's gonna play with Cat and everything, so there would be some overlap. But I would just say that between Cat and Gobert, maybe Gobert gets the lesser hit. I think because I believe they would be trying to put Cat in the perimeter more.
Yeah, stretch four maybe.
Yeah, so I think Gobert's blocks, rebounds, that's where his value is anyways, would still be there. So the lesser turnovers, of course, with so many ball handlers there. His field goal should be very high because he won't be taking a lot of shots. He should not be taking outside shots or anything. Yeah. So overall, I think he should still be where he is. Maybe a little lower. Maybe the rebounds get a little bit lower. But overall, I think he should be fine. So I think he's okay.
Is he fine for what last year? He was late second round maybe?
Yeah. I think
it was higher than that. Maybe a mid to early second round, depending on the managers or the build of your team that you're trying to make. So you think he should be safe right there?
Late second, I think he should be safe. Late second should be 22, 23, 24, 25, around those.
That's you feel, is that safe or a value pick already for Gobert?
No, that's not a value pick for Gobert this year. Of course, as we said, there's a lot more risk. He's in a deeper team and there's Cat. Yeah. So that's not a value. But safe, yeah, I guess you won't, even if he doesn't reach that, might not be that far off. So not value anymore.
All right, so now let's move on to Cat. Because I know, this, like you said, this would affect Cat by a lot. I really like you said it. They might play Cat more on the outside, which is really not that enticing.
I want to hear what you feel first because I've been thinking about this. I've been going back and forth. So
I'm not a very big Cat fan when it comes to fantasy. I had him in some teams. He was okay. I think he takes a hit. Here. If he becomes a stretch for more threes, that means lower field goal. I mean, logically that would happen, and then less free throws for him. I don't think he'll do a lot of back to the basket plays like a post up play because Gobert is going to be there. I'm not sure if they can work something out with those two, but yeah, a little maybe late first round. I'm still not convinced. Late first round would be nice for Cat.
Where would you have drafted him if Gobert did not come? Or Gobert wasn't traded? I think that's a good question to ask first, right? So would you have been top 5 for you?
Maybe mid, yeah. 5,
yeah.
Definitely not top 4. Maybe 5 to the 8 range. 5 to 8, 5 to 9 if he drops. And then of course Gobert. If Gobert stays with the Jazz, he'll be higher, of course, than where he is right now. Where we're expecting him to be.
I think for me, I agree. There would be some problems with rebounds. I think he's not been a great rebounder, really. I mean, he's solid, but not 20, 15, 16. So now probably gonna be 8, 9, 10, something like that. So the rebounds will get a hit. The blocks will certainly get a hit. So those are big. But the 3-pointers, the field goal will go down. That the 3-pointers, the increase in 3 points, I think would be substantial.
Yeah.
I think what Minnesota might be doing will be staggering some of their minutes also. So there would always be a Cat or a Gobert on the court. I think that would be what will happen. So overall, I would still pick him in the first round. I would still pick him in the first round, and that is also because of the other things that are happening in the league, the injuries, the trades also, like the Jonte and Trey getting together, going together. So I still believe that Cat is better than Trey. Cat is better than Beal.
Safer, I guess. Safer.
Safer, I think, is better also for me. Beal, Paul George, these guys who are maybe in the
But you know, the real worry I have with Cat now would be him shooting more threes than usual. And we've seen signs of this year, right? Winning the 3-point shootout, right?
Point shootout.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's declared that he's the best 3-point shooting big.
Yeah.
And you know, throughout the season, he's been shooting a lot more threes, staying there a lot more. And now he'll probably have even more opportunities to shoot threes. And that worries me because, you know, you're a big guy and I'm not really a big fan unless you're a real good shooter, like maybe a Dirk or Jokic. But
I actually was gonna ask you that. Dirk played that way. And Cat, maybe that's the peg. You know, put Cat in the Dirk peg. He's the power forward who plays perimeter. I think Cat can do it. So Dirk was a first rounder even as a perimeter guy, and yeah, he's not as great a shooter as Dirk, but Dirk is not as great a defensive player as Cat. I mean,
true.
defense,
and not even a great rebounder or
defense stats, which is rebounds, blocks, steals. So I think it will even out. I think he's a first rounder. I still think he's a first rounder, but again, not value, not safe.
yeah.
It's just where I would probably pick him. I think it's just right around 10, 11, 12, maybe around the late first round area.
Yeah, plus like we said, there's really, if you think about it, there's really not much options. Not many players who moved up from the second round level to the first round. Maybe the LaMelo would be there. DeJounte was supposed to be there, but now you're going to be thinking twice about picking DeJounte in the first round, right? So there are not really a lot of players who moved up. In fact, there might be a lot of players moving down from the first round. And that gives Cat a push up because I'm pretty sure Harden might move down a bit.
AD or Cat?
Huh?
AD or Cat?
Cat. Come on, guys. We've learned our lesson with AD for what, 2 years, 3 years?
But if Embiid joins the Wolves and makes it a three center rotation, AD or Cat?
It's so hard to pick Cat now. Yeah, but you know, last year we thought Cat was a good, nice. I mean, AD was a good value pick at the late first round, but you know, in the end, it didn't even pan out. I mean, he started well, but the injuries really hurt him.
It's gonna surprise you this year. So you see his workouts.
We said that last year.
No, I'm just joking. I'm not saying you pick AD over Cat. I'm not gonna pick AD. I'm just joking about that. But regarding this trade, there are other winners actually.
Yeah, but let's talk about the other side of it. Pat Bev, Vanderbilt. I think Pat Bev and Vanderbilt were the two guys who had significant fantasy value last year to the Jazz now. So where does this put them?
But Pat was gonna be bought out. They reported that he's gonna be bought out by the Jazz. So I think we can't talk about him because we don't know.
Let's skip Pat Bev because he might be changing teams. How about Vanderbilt and Beasley?
I like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt in Utah. They lost Royce O'Neal, right? So they probably put Bojan at the small forward, maybe. Yeah. Vanderbilt at power forward. There's no power forward in Utah anyways. So
who's the center at Utah?
Nobody also. Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler was the 22nd pick of Minnesota. This year, he was part of the trade. He's a first rounder, part of the trade. For people who don't know him, he's a white guy who can block. It doesn't, well,
Total.
basically, basically. Rebounds, blocks, still very raw offensively. I pity the guy because his grandfather played for Minnesota, and then during the press con, he said he's gonna wear this jersey, and then he showed a picture of his grandfather wearing the same Minnesota jersey, same number, and
And now he's moved to the Jazz.
then basically one day after he was traded to Utah. But anyway, he's gonna fit in Utah very well. He might even start. He's not a guy who's a freshman. He has already played in college for quite a few years, I think. So Kessler is a guy I like. Could be a very deep league option. But Vanderbilt, I think the rebounds, the steals, everything that he's shown in Minnesota, he might get major minutes in Utah. So I love Vanderbilt there.
But Vanderbilt might also fall a bit in the drafts because he didn't perform as well later in the season, and of course, usually there's recency bias among the fantasy managers, right? Like players playing in the summer league might get some boost up towards the latter round. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But yeah, how about Malik Beasley? Specialist, another specialist, I guess.
I don't pick players like that. Basically, the players that even if they get hot, any slump they will be dropped, right? So I'm not interested in Beasley. Actually, I'm more interested in Jaden McDaniels, the guy that was left behind in Minnesota. The reason why Minnesota gave up 5 first-round picks, which is really unbelievable, is because they didn't want to include Jaden McDaniels. That was the only problem in their negotiations. Utah wanted Jaden, and Minnesota didn't want to give up Jaden. So you have to assume Jaden will start at small forward for Minnesota. And he's going to get, well, there's no Vanderbilt now. They traded Beasley. They traded a lot of players. So I think Jaden, if you're looking for a deep, late round player to consider for just steals, blocks, threes, he's a guy that... I'm actually thinking Jaden or Vanderbilt would be better next year. I don't know. I'm still debating.
I think Vanderbilt would have more secured minutes.
That's it,
than Jaden.
But fantasy-wise, Jaden is better.
Yeah, because he has more. He has more to offer, right? He's pretty much Vanderbilt plus some scoring plus some offense, right? So he has more to offer, and Jaden played well towards the late in the season. He played better actually, I think, over Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt was on the verge of being dropped, or was dropped in a lot of leagues late in the season because of his poor performance.
But early in the season, it was the opposite.
Yeah, it was the opposite. So yeah, this is what makes it interesting. But again, the minutes, I think Vanderbilt has the advantage there when it comes to the minutes.